Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight, it's Memorial Day weekend. We have to pay attention to those fallen heroes. Memorial Day, 3 seconds of silence, because without their sacrifice, USA would not be what USA has been. Now, tonight, it's a day off. The stock market was closed, but futures are open. The roller coaster stock market continues. This is when you win. You have to be in the game to win, ladies and gentlemen. And this is what we're going to be talking about tonight. And welcome. Stop struggling now, gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you so much for being here this evening. I know the NBA playoffs is happening as we speak. I know a lot of people are relaxing on their day off, courtesy of the fallen soldiers, the fallen heroes, 3-day weekend. Now, what are you going to do with your freedom, ladies and gentlemen? Your financial freedom is at stake. We have a government who doesn't care about OCs like us. If you need some help with Medicaid, they're trying to strip it a little bit. If you're getting Social Security, they're trying to strip that. A lot of people do not understand that pension funds also are underfunded. So do not expect a 20-year run on that as well if you're fortunate enough to live well into your 80s. Now, let's get to it, shall we? Because you got to share the video. You got to let people know what's going on. You have 1 year, 7 months before there's an implosion. Don't worry. Just what's been happening now. Big Bad Wolf says tariffs against a country. But as we now know, the boy that cried wolf says we're going to pause the tariffs. So you have the stock market go down Thursday, Friday. Then it's in futures going up because they found out afterward there's a pause. Now, once again, when the stock market goes down, you guys know what you're supposed to do if you want that financial independence. But make sure you smash that like button. Once again, let the YouTube gods know you're in the house. In fact, the Instagram gods as well. They have to let them be known, and Twitch and Facebook and you know where. Podcast. Okay, let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know who's in the house tonight because once again, it is your time. You need to play the game. And that means building wealth, reducing your debt is the only way you're going to survive this next situation if you have constitutional rights. Um, I should do a public service announcement. The House of Representatives, the majority, which is now currently the GOP party, they have put some poison pills in order for our government to bypass the Constitution, bypass the judges' rulings, where they're saying things like the president or the administration does not have to follow any injunctions, any court orders, anything like this in, in a bill to give rich people tax cuts and tax breaks. So when you start having these type of dictator tendencies, these Putin tendencies, you should be very, very scared because there is the top 10% of the wealthiest own 93% of the stocks. 8 people on the planet own more wealth than half of the world's population, 4 billion people. So you might want to start being a little bit concerned if you have rich people around the world being able to dictate to your government what should be done with the citizens in that country. The Constitution is upheld for over 200 years. It's under assault right now. That's going to be a problem. So, therefore, what did I say 5.5 years ago? Almost 6 years ago. You better find something offshore, no matter which country you're in. You need another location to have assets, bank accounts, things like that. You do what the big boys do. The roller coaster ride is just now starting. 1 year, 7 months, you have a roller coaster ride, and you're going to have to start paying attention. You just can't go to work and sit there and think everything's going to be fine. Because as our gear says, nobody's coming to save you financially. You're going to have to do it all on your own. In fact, I'm going to be posting something, but it had to do with hourly wages. Hourly wages average 30, 40. Yeah, even California was $40 an hour, average wage, not salary, wage. 40. 40 times 40 is 1,600 a week, I believe. 3,200. I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to get a 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom apartment, let alone a house. So you're well under the median income line that you're going to need to be successful financially in America. And if you're going to have to pay for your health care, what's going to happen then if there's no health care? Because unfortunately, in this bill that the House has passed, Medicaid is being cut. So that affects health care. That affects SNAPs, which is food programs for children, the elderly, and everybody else that has disabilities. And all these cuts, somebody's going to foot the bill or not, which means more people are going to have a problem. That means there's going to be a consolidation. People are going to probably start doing community living. Families aren't going to be one and done going, hey, once you're 18, 20, get out the house. It's going to be a community because people who are 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 25, even 30, 35, 40 do not make livable wages. Teeter-totter effect. All right, that's my spiel. The roller coaster, you need your financial freedom. And I don't mean by any means necessary, you need wealth. So, just to be clear, EV Place is here. He's enjoying the roller coaster ride. He put investments in stock market. Who else put investments in Bitcoin? Since we had a Bitcoin summit by the president, doesn't want to tell anybody who was there, but then you know what that means. That means they're doing some backdoor stuff so they can pump up some sort of crypto. You need to be on the ride. BTC's on a rocket ship ride this last quarter, this whole year. Ethereum's on the rocket ship ride, and there's probably some meme coins on a rocket ship ride as well. Opportunity is here. You have to realize when to get out. EV Place, again, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. Good evening, everyone. Let's talk about making money. Exactly. And by the way, bing, 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 boom. Did you get those notifications on Friday? I know you did. I know you did, and you were doing the salsa dance, EV Place. And tomorrow there's going to be some more bing, bing, bing notifications for the reinvestments. So therefore, people are going to be doing the salsa dance, very happy, especially with several Yield Max ETFs. In fact, Defiance Group, Yomax ETFs, all of these guys that are doing option income trading, you guys are out here winning because of all the chaos. You have options that's being traded, sold, premium fees. Oh, it's off the charts. All right, here we go. XRP grows 400% from November. There you go. There you go. XRP was always under siege. Remember, our government removed the SEC cases against a lot of corporations. So therefore, that freed them up from, well, some of their illegal kind of activity. So therefore, they don't have to waste any money, and everybody has a free ride to go to wherever it goes. So this is why XRP also has risen. There's a lot of things happening right now. Brian P., Mr. Dividend, is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he brings his tagline, happy day, Eric. Happy day to you too, Mr. Dividend. I hope all is well with you. Yes, I'm feeling 95% better. Happy day, SSN family. That's right. And tomorrow's going to be another happy day. Some more bing, bing, bing notifications. Smash that like button. We are making money in here. That's the only thing you can do right now. There's no way you can actually work at a job and think that you're going to be safe in the future. If you're thinking that, then all I can say is sayonara, because you're going to be joining about another 3-4 million people that's going to be homeless on the streets, going to have to rely on family or something, because you're not going to be able to survive out here. If you think you're going to be living on credit cards, it's a wrap. That won't happen. All right. They're going to start cutting that stuff off because they're going to have so many defaults coming up that it's going to be crazy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Put a pin in it. All right. Brian P. Eric, check out your emails. I knew you were going to say that. I have not yet. EV Play says, yes, he was doing that salsa dance. That's right. This week was my biggest dividend. That's right. MVDY, MAROPLTY, giving up what, $7 a share in dividends, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. PLTY, $7 in dividends. In fact, Morrow, I think, was like $1. Was that $1.97? Or was that NVIDIA, NVDY? Either way, all of these are being traded outstanding. And so therefore, the dividends or distribution from the dividends is exceptional. So when somebody says, hey, you can get 50, 40, 30% rate of return, and then other people say, well, what about 75 and what about 100? There must be some catch. Well, there normally would be a catch, except when the stock market is pumping and dumping, that works perfect for yield max ETFs, especially the big boys, especially NVIDIA, especially Palantir, especially MicroStrategy, especially SMCI. You're going to have heavy dividends. Morrow as well, which is Mara. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad you're here. Make sure whatever you do, which I do not have up right now, make sure you get a brokerage account, right? You have to have a brokerage account. And a brokerage account, you can have Fidelity, you can have Schwab, you can have Robinhood, Webull, Moomoo, whoever you got to have, E-Trade, all of them. You have to have a brokerage account. You need stocks, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I will say one thing. It's going to be perilous because one of these days, the stock market could all of a sudden crash. That's why you can't put all of your money in the stock market. You have to be diversified, which means you have to have other streams of revenue as well. You can't do this single person thing anymore. You can't do where it's just a man, woman, one of you go to work or two of you go to work and we'll be fine. There's no guarantee of your future financial stability. So the only thing that can guarantee that is paying off whatever you own. No IOUs. So if you need a car, it's got to be free and clear. If you have to live somewhere, tiny home, I don't really care what it is, you're going to have to find something in the next 1 year, 7 months, is my opinion. We'll find out how it all shakes out because that'll be my retirement time. But nonetheless, and I don't mean that, I just meant retirement from YouTube is what I'm trying to say. But then again, you never know how I feel. Maybe I won't have anything to do, so I might stay longer. But it looks like in about, 1 year, 7 months, 1 year, 9 months, 1 year, 10 months, it'll be bye-bye for me too. And whatever happens, I've been doing this too long. So we'll see. Hey, Eric, you missed my message. Okay, hold on. Wait, I missed some message up here. Hold on a second. Eric, check out your emails. I saw that. Okay, I saw this one. Hold on. Did I miss something else? I don't. Salsa dance, my biggest dividend. That was EV Place. Hey, Eric, you missed my message. Hold on. Repeat, please. Yes. Hey, Eric, this is my best week on dividend. Man, I can imagine. I can imagine. I can imagine. I don't think it was mine. I don't think it was mine. Um, I don't know. All I know is I'm happy. All I know is it was 4.5%. So that was just week. That's not even for the month. So I yes, actually that's probably my highest because my other ones were like what was it 1.5, 2%, something like that earlier. And then 2 weeks ago, it was also around 4%. So yeah, I'm very happy as well. Again, I'm not at like EV Place and Brian P. Mr. Dividends. I'm at a lower number. I'm like a like 12 to 13% for the month, which is freaking crazy as well. Morrow, you can get 21.50 right now. The last dividend 199 per share. Exactly. It's on sale, ladies and gentlemen. 10% damn near in 1 month. In fact, Morrow was under 21, wasn't it? It was under 21. It was like you can almost get 10% in 1 month and it pays monthly. And Morrow is option income, premiums, trading, options, not the stock. They hold very little of MARA, but they're trading it on the options. So they're distributing those funds. So we love 2150 right now. I haven't looked already. I normally I'll look tomorrow, but it's all good. Brian P, my bad. All right, man. Very good, Eric. I saw your message though about your best week on dividends. Yeah, you have to hold NVDY. You have to hold PLTY. Those are two that's pretty awesome. You got to hold. In fact, Morrow, you should hold that as well. Then, of course, you have to have the weeklies. YMAG, YMAX, IWMY. You got to have all these. ULTY, YMAG, YMAX, um, IWMY. I've already mentioned. There's several. LFGY. You got to hold all those. Have been great. Even LFGY gave out a nice dividend this past week. So it has been one hell of a ride if you decide to join the fun. So once again, that's what we're talking about. In fact, here we go. I'm very sad, Eric. My Yield Max wallet dropped to 8. That's funny. Oh man, I know, man. Sarcasm in 2 months. Sarcasm. As soon as you said I was sad about 18.5, I'm like, okay, nobody's gonna be mad about 18.5 in 2 months. That's funny. Oh man, Jaway J, another investor's in the house, the real estate game. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. Hello, SSN Nation. Hope everyone is doing well. Thank you. Received notification, and he gave it a 1 piece for that like button. Eric, sorry we couldn't hang out in Punta Cana. It's okay, man. By the time I read messages, it was very late. No problem, Job Wait Jay. It's all good, man. Time was of the essence, and it's all good. It's funny how things work out because the wife felt ill the afternoon of Wednesday. So then on Thursday, um, she was feeling, like I need to relax. And then Friday we were leaving, but all along she had COVID. And actually, I had it 1 day behind her, but didn't know it until we got back to Atlanta. I got sick. So I already was infected. So it was a good thing that we missed most appointments. all the appointments actually. It's a good thing that we were in the open air when we were there, because we went over to see Joe Nay and Tamara was there with their family, and luckily we were sitting outside and away from each other for the most part, or distance away. We weren't in a van driving around. We weren't in the office and sitting there talking for 2 or 3 hours. So it actually ended up being a blessing that everything didn't go according to plan, because we could have infected other people. Seeing that both of us, I didn't have any symptoms at the time, but she did. So, but we didn't know it was COVID until the morning we left, and I had to go get a test. I was getting flu, cold, all that kind of stuff. And then she's like, "Hey, wait a minute, don't you need some? Why don't we get a COVID test?" And I was like, "COVID?" Come to find out, today they have a new strain of COVID. Go figure, right? Just saw it today in China. So of course, because we both had it before, and it this one was a little different. Last time I didn't even get sick, really. I had it, but I walked around. I was fine. I didn't have any symptoms whatsoever. I was like, "What is this?" The thing says, you're reading it, and it says, "Man, it says I have it, but no symptoms, no nothing." And this time, though, oh yeah, I had the freeze, like I was sick and everything. It was bad, and it lasted about 10 to 12 days too. So don't worry, man. It's a good thing. It's all worked out according to how the good karma works. Mara miners will not stop mining BTC if this cycle will end. Exactly. They're not going to stop, especially with the price going up. It went to 110. It's going up. So I don't know what it's at right now, but it's probably going to rise a little bit more. So again, that's another opportunity for everybody, because we're talking about X. You know what? Uh, XRP. I have stuff stuck everywhere, man, on all kind of platforms. It's crazy. Let's see what XRP price is. I don't even know. Is it 25 cents or something? $2.29. Jesus, it's went up great. What's this little crashy thing? That's interesting. It used to be pennies. Yep. 1 year ago, it was, what was it? 51 cents, 40 some cents. Yeah, 47 cents, 49. Yeah, exactly. And now look, 229, like it's some years ago, right? What was it? 2021, when it was up to almost a dollar. Yeah, $1.65 in that area. And then all this time from 2021, because Gensler would never do anything or make decisions about crypto. So it was always in limbo, because it's a very dangerous situation. If the government starts using that money, I mean, doing alternative money, you're going to lose your dollar. That's the problem with crypto. The banks are signing up to just implode the system, and people are cheering about the system. I'm just going to warn you very, very carefully here. Uh, you do understand, if there's no electricity or you can't connect to Wi Fi, you're going to have a little problem dealing with crypto, right? You understand that. So that's one of the things that bothers me. And the second part is, if you start taking dollars, spending dollars to buy crypto or any currency, it doesn't matter. That means you're taking the dollar off the table. Circulation's not going to be the same, because you're not trading dollars for goods. You're trading dollars for thin air, because crypto's nothing. There's nothing tangible. So if you start doing this, you're going to devalue your currency even faster and quicker. And now another currency could actually take over the world. So just keep this in mind. All right. We live in a third world country. You just don't know it yet. And if you keep going down this path, this is going to go to something that's going to be bad for everybody. And that also means that they'll control it, because your wallets, they can be somewhat anonymous, but it really wasn't. it's still trackable, right? Because they're still going to make you have a wallet. You're going to have a wallet. You're going to have to load, unload, right? So it's all trackable once somebody has your numbers. So it's very simple. It's not that far off that you could see where there's devastation. So you're going to have to be in the game. So now I have to be in the game a little bit more with crypto than I want to be, and more exposure than I want, because it looks like the banks are already signed up for crypto. That's not good. So, once again, these are the things that you guys should be paying attention to. Like this right here is a simple thing. BTC keeps rising, more people are going to mine it, especially the guys at Mara. So, it rolls. The BTC ETFs have come out. The Ethereum ETFs have come out. So they're dumping millions of dollars into ETH and BTC and other things like XRP and things like that. So there you go. That's what's going to happen. Visa signed deal with the other company so you can spend your stable coins for shopping soon. See? Exactly, EV Place. Exactly. They're preparing this so people can actually use crypto, but it's going to be very fascinating because it still doesn't change anything. Because you can still be doing illegal activities with crypto. So this is so funny that you're just willing to say, okay, I guess it's all good now. I'm like, it was always all good. It's like, I don't understand. But the reason why it's all good now is because the banks, the stock of Wall Street, the people overseas that are wealthy have now been able to figure out what they can do. So they do meme coins, and then they do a promotion, and then they get to sell multiple millions of dollars worth of the coin. And then if it goes down, who cares? People lose. But the winners are the people who actually made that coin. And this is going to be the wild, wild west. And unfortunately, it's going to hurt ordinary citizens the most, the ones who need the money. So you're going to have to be very, very careful, ladies and gentlemen. Guys, if you have projects that you are going to look for financing from the banks and the DR, please start looking for some other options if possible. Jaway J, what are you saying right now? What are you saying right now? Don't scare us all. What are you saying right now? I think I know what you're saying, but please put it in writing, because my interpretation of what you're saying right now is I think you're about to tell me that the banks aren't going to be doing loans. Let's see what he's saying. And if your projects are behind schedule, keep paying. Dealing with the banks and the DR is very difficult. I knew you were going to say that, man. I knew you were going to say that. Yeah. 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 I knew you were going to say that. Jaway J, regarding the projects in DR and around the world, something has to give. So ultimately, what's going to happen is, and let us know why you say keep paying. I want to know why you say that, because what's going to end up happening is they're going to start. See, my thing is, I'm having a hard time with these guys, because if they start doing BS, like for instance, we have several projects right now. The projects are supposed to deliver in 2025, 2026. They're not. So now it could be 2028, 2029 when they deliver. So what? The bank's going to be like, well, you guys didn't make payments for whatever, and that. If they're going to try that, okay, fine. But the writing's already on the wall. Again, I still haven't made the video. I need to do that. Because the writing's already on the wall. We have too many projects not complete. We have too many projects that is going to need financing when they're done. And now people won't be able to finance them to buy the stuff. So who's going to win? Well, nobody, ultimately, because now there's going to be projects that are going to be half done, projects that are nobody's going to live there because they can't get funding and they don't have the 50, 60, $100,000 to put down. So something has to give. That's going to stall, because there'd be no reason for anybody to buy pre-construction when there's a whole bunch of units available that's already been built. and you still have to pay the same amount. There's no way around it. And at that point, the developers are going to be the ones that's going to carry the paper. In my opinion, I think that's what's going to end up happening. When they have people that can't get their units, then they're going to say, okay, well, we'll carry the paper. You make the monthly payments. But again, that's where it goes, is my opinion. So watch what happens, ladies and gentlemen. But here's what else is going to happen. The value is going down in certain locations because people are going to have to sell, right? And stuff sitting on the market or sitting empty and vacant, that's not good for real estate. When you have, let's just call it 500 units, and 100 units are filled and 400 units are vacant, HOA has to do all the upkeep then for all the lawns if nobody lives there, right? So this is where it's going. I want to hear what Yahweh J has to say because he's been involved with these banks. And Joe Nay as well. He's been involved. The folks in the bank are non-responsive. They have no customer service and they don't care. Don't respond to emails. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. They ask for documents. They don't acknowledge receiving them. You have to constantly call and text and email. Still, you get nowhere. Oh, man. Name a bank, man. Let us know what bank you're talking about. I mean, it probably is like all of them. This is incredible right now. They're acting like they're brand new or something. This is incredible. They're brand new. They're acting like they've never given loans before. They're acting like they don't know what's going on. This is so effed up. And that was one place that had everything, a deeded property. They had it legally, but now it's inundated because you have all these people, these developers and builders that aren't doing what they were supposed to do. So now the courts are flooded because you have hundreds of thousands of people that purchased. So when somebody says we're going to be 4 years late, 5 years late, well, they don't say that, but when they are 4 or 5 years late, then there's going to be lawsuits, right? And so if you sell 500 units, you're going to have 20, 30 people doing lawsuits. And if you have 1,000 properties on the island, now you start doing numbers and all of a sudden you have 2,500 people, 2,000 lawsuits in all the jurisdictions, and the courts start getting inundated just with the real estate. The builders, developers, the buyers, the class actions, all that starts getting inundated. Some people are going to jail. All this stuff happens. But that's inundating the courts. So again, this is not good news from Yahweh J. So this is why one of the reasons that if you don't feel comfortable, Yahweh J said keep making payments. I personally don't like that scenario because once again, you lose 10, 15, 20 grand. Do you want to lose 50, 60, 70 grand? Potentially. That's the way I look at it. I'm like, I wouldn't want to do that. Let's go. I was given an appraiser called Yarisa Tapia, who the bank seems to be pushing. She tells you she will go to the project to do appraisal and don't show up. Took several calls to get her there. Wow. Easy money for her, you would think, right? And out of curiosity, what number did they give you? I'm very, very curious because they seem to be acting new over there, like they don't know what's going on. They've been selling property for freaking 50 years. This is insane. Well, not 50 like that, but 40 years. This is insane. This is bad for business. Bad for business. Now I'm calling her to get the appraisal. She keeps bouncing me around. What? So you mean from the time we were talking last week that you still don't know the number? You still don't know how much the appraisal is? She should have had that within the next 24 hours. That's insane. Okay, Yahweh J, are you going to name the bank, man? Give us the bank name. Not that I'm going to make a call, but at least we need to know to avoid. If you have to use their own bank appraiser, that's not good. That's bad news. This is all bad news, Jaway J. All right. I hope Joe Nay comes in the house tonight because he should be getting close to his unit at Jardine 4, I think, or 3. I don't remember. Jardine 3 or 4. 3, I guess, for 4. I don't know which 3. It's got to be 3. But at his Jardines, whatever he's doing with them, I'm not even actually sure exactly. I think it's in the condos, but he mentioned villas, so I don't know. But nonetheless, this is what we're dealing with outside of America. We're also dealing with this inside of America because we have the same rules applying where these guys over here, they're doing people a different way. They're saying that the contract that we have says you can back out or we can back out. So after they get the money from the people, then the developer backs out because he knows the price that he's selling to them is 30-40% lower. So then they know that they can up the price 25% more, still undervalue it and sell it. So that's what's been happening inside of America and around the world as well. So there's a bunch of these things going on right now that's very, very bad. All right, let's see. Uh-oh, what's this? Banesco, Scotiabank, all of them? You got to be kidding me. Scotiabank? Seriously? Oh, okay. This is what I was afraid of. What you're describing now, Jaway J, is what I was afraid of. Remember when I kept saying they're messing up this thing of ours? When the developers were messing up? Here's what starts happening. When the developers aren't delivering and they're doing things like when Primavera 2 sent out a letter last November, that's right, 2023. 20 was it 2020? Yeah, 20 was it 2023? Yep. 2023. They sent out a letter now saying you have delivery of your condo. All right. But on the other side of that letter, after it said you have delivery of your condo, please give us a few months so we can get your title together. It wasn't a few months. They had to subdivide each unit and get its APN number. It took them more than a year. So they just now sent out another letter last week. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, last week. So most people weren't going to pay. Let me see. It was 82.5. You had to, it was a 1030. So you had like 60%. So 40. So most people might not have had the 40,000, 40 to 45,000 for the 2-bedroom penthouse. So the thing is, they had to rely on the banks. And to date, there's not one person that lives in 12. There's 12 units in in 2 buildings. Nobody lives there. First of all, they couldn't have done anything because title wasn't there for the last year and a half. Year and a half. So therefore, everybody right now is eligible to purchase who has a title. And I don't even know if everybody has a title. They just sent me a message accidentally, of course. So this right here, I would be willing to bet is based on the shenanigans that's been happening for the last 3 years or 4, where these developers are telling people they are have their title. People are calling the banks, and then the bank is finding out that there's no title to transfer. So all of this goes hand in hand with bad news because if Scotiabank, who's a multinational company, I mean, they're in the they have banking for USA, they have banking Canada, banking in Dominican Republic, plus other locations. Now you're understanding. This is why I was pissed off after last year in May when and January, February, March, April when I was staying there. I was learning all these little things and I was like, this can't be happening. You guys are messing up this thing of ours. All developers had to do was deliver on time, or if you can't deliver on time, then you let people know, and you should be dealing with the banks. And of course they messed it. The whole chain just keeps going downhill. It's bad news, and I'm sorry to hear this, Jaway J, because that means we have a crisis. where now people are going to have a problem getting funding when it should have been a piece of cake, putting down 40% minimum. Let me see, what was it? There was some 10/20s, I think, too. 30%? The bank's not going to give you a loan after you put down 30%, 40%, 50%, 60%. Come on. This is absurd. So does that mean there's an opportunity? I don't think so. First of all, no bank outside of the DR is going to mess with giving somebody a loan in the DR, right? That's not going to be an option. So if Banesco, Scotia Bank, BHD, Banco Popular supposedly had something that they were going to do, but which I have not seen anything new. They were saying this crazy stuff up to 70% loan to value, but haven't seen that over the last 9 months. They came out, and who else came out with that? There was another company, another bank too. Banco de la Haro Lopez. Lopez de Haro. Um, I don't know. Again, you can check them out too. But the point is, this is very treacherous times. Then they messed up this whole thing of ours where everybody was going to be winning, everybody was going to be eating. And because of the system breakdown, it's then changed the game. And I don't even know if it was better from the previous president that was allowing things to happen or not. Um, but all I do know is this breakdown is catastrophic. Catastrophic. The banking system there needs to be revamped. This is what the IMF was saying. The United States and IMF was telling Dominican Republic, you need to get your banking system out of the 1970s. But the banks themselves, Banco Popular, Scotia Bank, they are not banks on just Dominican Republic, the island. They know how to do mortgages, but even they're doing it differently because they're separate branch, so to speak. They have the name, but they're not the same as Scotiabank Canada or Scotiabank some other location in another country. Scotiabank UK, none of that. So that is very, very bad. This is bad. Like you, Eric, I'm wondering what will happen when all these projects come up. I'm going through this experience of reporting because this is ridiculous. Jawed J, I thought it was a wrap because you've been doing this for a minute, so I figured everything was going according to plan. Now you're telling me Scotia Bank can't do nothing, Banco Popular can't do anything. This is bad. We were on the island. Everything was poised, set up. All they had to do was freaking 2 jobs: regulate properly and loan packs. Wow. 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 This is crazy. This is crazy. Liquid assets who have these, he will be a winner. EV place, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. You have to be damn near liquid. Um, Again, that's what's liquid. You're only liquid as long as you have access. So stocks are liquid as long as you can sell them and withdraw. Your bank account is liquid as long as you can withdraw. Gold, silver, precious metals, not liquid. A house, property, not liquid. It has a value, but you can't sell it tomorrow. You can't sell it today. So, uh, crypto, for the most part, as long as you have a pool of that crypto for sale, then it's liquid. And as long as you have electricity, it's liquid. and internet. If you don't have internet, that's another problem. Um, so it's pseudo liquid, but not really, because the United States, the way they do it, they have gatekeepers. So you have to generally download the crypto and change it into USD. That changing into USD means it has to sit somewhere. And that sitting somewhere is not in your pocket. It's sitting at the bank or sitting at the exchange or sitting somewhere. So it's not a direct withdrawal, not like an ATM where you can go to the ATM machine, get the money. Well, it's limited, but nothing like that with crypto. So again, you're exchanging something out of thin air for currency. And the thing is, the currency can be in any currency. It doesn't have to be in USA currency, right? So very interesting how this plays out. All right, absolutely. I was expecting more from Scotiabank. Tell me about it. I'm dealing with four banks and they are all non responsive. I'm spending hours texting, emailing, calling. Are you kidding me right now? So, what about Banco Popular? The ones that had that promotion where they were talking about 60 to up to 60, 70% loan to value. And I'm thinking it was Scotiabank that, or was it? I think it was Scotiabank that also said they had some special offer at one time, but those things went bye bye real fast. I was wondering how that was going to work out. This is all sad, man. We got investors over there, 40, 50, 60 people from the SSN Nation that's involved with the Dominican Republic in investments, and everybody was on track. Purchase at the proper price. The values have increased, have equity. So all that needed to be done was banking. That's it. Seemed pretty simple. Well, you know what this means. Yes, EV Place. Eric, have you checked out DXY recently? We're at levels from March 2022. I saw that, man. I was hoping it went down a little more because I don't really like, I wanted a higher return, quite frankly. I just want to let you know. I want a little bit higher return because obviously, if I have, if you have JEPQ, I'd rather have JEPQ. That's the whole point of that. And so let me go pull it up. And if I'm at 13%, 12.5 to 13.5, why am I going to go DXY? Uh, Something would have to change with their dividends. And let me see. Hold on a second. Why can't I pull this up? Why can't I pull this up? It was looking real nice. I wanted it to go down some more and then reevaluate what's going on. Just so you know. Let me see what's this. I can't even. What is going on here? I think. Are you? Hold on. I must not. I must be. Are you talking about DX? DX is only 7%. I'm pretty sure. Where's the? I think you're talking about. Hold on a second. I think you're talking about. I'm talking about DX. You're talking about DXY. Let me see which one we're talking about here. Okay, U.S. dollar index. That's not what I'm talking about. You're talking about the dollar index. I'm talking about DX, the stock itself. It was declining, and it's an energy type stock, but it was only, I think, seven. Was it seven? I think it's only seven. Let me make sure you're talking about the dollar index. Um, what I have experienced with the workers in these banks, as long as you are not in front of them, nothing happens. Hey, man, have you checked out Banco? Well, oh man, Lopez de Haro or whatever. BL, that is BLH. Um, the only problem with them is their rates are high. They seem responsive. They're responsive. Trust me. I mean, they're responsive. I mean, they're on WhatsApp. They're English. They'll get somebody to call you. I mean, they're responsive. I love D. I love De Haro. BLH is sick. Okay, let's get to the DXY. Are we talking about the dollar? Okay, we'll go down more in my opinion. You're right. It's going to go down because it's weakening. Okay, here we go, man. Dynex, 17.22%. It's in range. I love it. It's in range. Dynex Capital, 17.22% at $11.85. I love seeing that. After hours, it's about 11. What did it do? Oh, it went back up. Nope, went back up to what, 1188. Okay. Yeah, AGNC plus, NASDAQ plus, Armor plus. These guys, these real estate investment trusts and capitals and holdings and corporations, they're waiting for the interest rate. But Dynex is bleeding money. Net income down. They're bleeding money. I don't, that 17.22% might not be so hot. They're bleeding money. All right. But back to it, Jawway J. Thank you for giving us this information. This is sad. But go to check out BLH too. But again, their freaking interest rates were off the freaking charts. It was something like 12%. Crazy. All right, primary trade lines. Where can I get those from? Real Expression. You can hit me up at support@stopstrugglingnow.com. Support@stopstrugglingnow.com. I don't know. We might have till midnight Pacific, maybe, or midnight Eastern, where there might be a special deals that I can get you for Memorial Day. But if you already know what you need, then you need to give me the amount, the trade line amount you need, and the length of time that you need if you already know what you need. Send that to me at support@stopstrugglingnow.com. I'll get with you after the live stream. All right, and then we can talk, narrow it down. All right. Hopefully that'll help. If you have any other questions, you can answer them right now too. If DXY is going down, it means stocks and digital assets will go up. Ah, I don't know. That's a fine line. You can't have your dollar going down. That's a fine line. I don't I don't subscribe to that, quite frankly. Um Hold on a second. Let me let me go over here. What's it at? It was at 98, I think. Yeah, it's at 98.8. Yeah, your dollar can't go down. That's that's not a good thing. So okay, so like when the dollar goes down and you travel and you have dollars, you pay more. So in other words, after DR messed up their currency, then then they were up to 62 to 1 to the USD. But when the USD has gone down, now it's to 58 to 1. So now it costs you more when uh, we were out in DR. So when my favorite dish at La Bruja used to be 940 DOP, Dominican peso, and now it's 1100. And instead of it being 62 to 1, it's money. All right. So like right now, when we have post-retirement travel, him and his wife traveling around the world, he's paying more money to travel outside the United States. Also, the dollar is tied to oil, or oil's tied to dollars. Either way, you can only go so low with the dollar value. And so that becomes a problem as well. So we see the dollar is struggling down, says Market Watch. Liberation Day, why it may keep falling. Yeah, yeah. And here goes the other problem. Stocks tally worst session in a month as weak bond market auction has investors wondering how US will manage its debt. You got to give out more money, right? 4.5, 4.6. I don't know what the 10-year treasury yield is. But that also means your mortgage rates aren't going to come down. You understand there's an effect that you don't want the dollar to come down. You'd rather it stay within a range. And unfortunately, it's not staying in a range. So I don't know how this is all going to play out because people, first of all, when this stocks tally worst session in a month as weak bond market, this is the fallout when you have a weak dollar. Either you're and again, we're going to have to give them 4.6% interest, or us, whoever buys in treasuries, in order to print more money. We already owe trillions. So, I mean, that's 45, what is that? 45 million, 46 million in interest only for each trillion you borrow. So if you start talking about 4 trillion, 165 million, there's around 180 million taxpayers. So you can start figuring out some numbers eventually, because you haven't even put down anything on the principal, and it could be we could be at 40 trillion here real quick if this bill passes, and it's going to be bad if it does, because there's also all kind of poison pills in there. um so dollar was king. This is May 23rd. Now consensus is sell on rallies. See, um yeah. Yeah, Treasury yields continue to cool ahead of the long holiday weekend. Yeah, nobody's gonna want to buy our. The world understands we're weak. We don't manufacture. We have disarray in government. We owe. They're seeing us talk about adding another 2, 3, 4 trillion dollars over the next 5 to 10 years. They're seeing that we need to borrow money. And so that's not a good sign to invest in America. So nobody's buying the bonds. And so therefore that is not good. Um, in fact, you know what I'm going to do? Because EV Place did bring up a very good point. People are more into risky assets. Yeah, EV Place, that's dangerous. I know well, there's a reason. 80% of the population lives paycheck to paycheck. They have no time to sit around waiting 5 to 10 years or more for something to happen, because right now the cost of living increases. So you have to do high risk, high rewards. I mean, I get it, because it's not going to do you any good to make an extra 5 or 10 or 20 or 50 $100. You need something like 500, 1,000, 1,500, $2,000 in a short period of time. You have bills due every month. And right now, a friend of mine over the weekend, we're sitting there, and he says he has a Lincoln, and it's a 2011. And come to find out, in all the wisdom, they have their water pump inside the engine. I'm like, yeah, now he's learned a lesson. Never buy cars with inside the engine water pumps. That's crazy. So anyhow, $3,500. I was like, well, how much is a 2011 car worth? It's 14 years old. I mean, I don't even know how much it's worth, right? But $3,500 to open it up and put in a new water pump, but everything is still the same for $3,500. That's insane. That's insane. But again, a lot of people do not even 70% of the population does not even have $1,000 in their bank account. So this is what's going to happen. It's going to be a catastrophic situation, because more and more people will say, I can't buy a new car. I'll have an older car. Now your older car breaks down, and now you're finding out bills, 2,500, 3,500, 4,500. The car's worth 10 grand, let's say. Is now what? Can't afford to fix it. But now you have a job. Now you got to get on transportation. Hopefully your city has great transportation where you can get to work. If it doesn't, now that does another challenge. So this is where this is going, ladies and gentlemen, like a freaking 1930. All right. Okay, here we go. Thank you so much for being here, Real Expression, and welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. All right, DXY is going down. It means stocks and digital assets will go up. People are more into risky. You got that right, man. They have to be. This is the old adage, right? This is why the lottery is effective, because people need the money now. They're willing to spend their last $50 to have a chance to win 20 million or 10 million or 5 million or 1 million, whatever it is, right? That's the problem. Yes, traveling is more expensive. Exactly. But I'm talking about the stock market and other risky investments. Um, yeah, if yeah, but the dollar going down is not good for the United States. That's all I can say. It has to stay in a range. And it has to deal with our oil. That's the problem. Um, but the stock market, if you and quite frankly, Max ETFs, Defiance Group, all the new option income ETFs, those are high risk, high rewards because there's no track record, no long term track record. And you need volatility for those to work because you need people buying option income, the paying the fees, the premiums, and all that. That's what you need. So that's how you win. If the stock market stays level, then all of a sudden the option income stuff, your stock price on the option income, because distributions aren't going to be that big, are going to start dropping rapidly. And that's why you have to stay abreast of the situation with those Max ETFs and Defiance Groups and everybody. So that's one of those things that's going to happen. But yeah, you're going to have to take, this is what already happened 20 years ago in Europe. Older people had to take risk. It wasn't like the people that were retired had to take risk with their 1 million, 2 million, $3 million. And then so did the 20-year-old, 30-year-olds. They had to take a risk. Everybody had to take a risk trying to invest. And by taking on a risk on it, risky investments means you could lose a nice percentage of what you worked hard for. That is the problem, unfortunately. Eric, I don't have any impact on DXY. I can only watch and compare to the previous cycles based on that making decisions. Are you going to make decisions on DXY? So, in other words, when I want to go, I want to hear from you because I don't base any decision on DXY, on the dollar value. I don't base any decisions on that. So, when you make decisions on DXY, is it okay? So we're at 98 right now. What happens if it dropped to 97 and 80 cents, $97.80? What then? I mean, is there a number? Give me an idea of what would make you move. Give every because this actually helps everybody because I don't base anything on the dollar itself. Yeah, DXY is 98.89 right now. Previous close was 99.1. And in fact, oh, there was a range. It went down to 97.52 recently. So that's interesting. Let me go look at something. I'm going to go year. See if it can give me a year. See what that looks like. See, like S&P 500 futures are rising as treasury yields continue to cool ahead of long holiday weekend. That was on May 23rd. So here's how much the dollar would need to depreciate to wipe out the U.S. trade deficit. Are you kidding me right now? Don't even joke about the way I look at it. Don't even be. Wait a minute. Is Apple under 200? Oh, this is going to be a good day tomorrow. Okay, so notice how they're saying here's how much the dollar would need to depreciate. They're not giving any numbers. They're just showing a graph. Um, real trade balance, nominal, broad, real, the middle one. Oh, it's going the wrong way. Whoa. Yeah, it's not giving me any info on that. Yeah, I'm not familiar really with the DXY, so maybe we can learn something tonight from EV. Let me know, Brian P. That's crazy. Yeah, man, it's getting crazy out here. Joe Nay's in the house, another investor. He's into all things investing. I'm pretty sure he's watching everything as well. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he says, good evening, everybody. Good evening to you. Hope everybody's doing well on this Memorial Day weekend. Thank you so much. I hope you're doing well. All right. Joe Nay, did you see the news that Jaway J was talking about? I know you probably, I don't know how you've been dealing with banking, but Jaway J says he's went to 2, 3, 4 banks. He's having issues with people not getting back to him. Scotia Bank, he mentioned, Band Reservists, I think it was. He didn't mention the other two, but it's almost all of them, it appears. He probably needs to get appraisal done, and people aren't even coming out to do the appraisals. And then once they do come out, they're not getting back in touch with him for the appraised value and dictated by the bank. He's saying he's having one hell of a time. It's very interesting. So maybe you have a little insight because I know you've been searching about because you have a couple ways you can go. But EV Place, it can go down to 90 or less. This will pump crypto and stocks. Really? Really? Hold on. Hold on. You know we can Google this because we have AI in Google now. Let's see what happens. So you're saying you're rooting for it to go down, but that's here it is. If the dollar crashes, hyperinflation is likely to take hold and unemployment would soar as investors lose trust in the US bond market and government. That's where I was going. Losing trust. I'm thinking it's going to have a weak dollar. I don't know. Is a weak dollar good for stocks? Let's see. Yes, a weaker dollar can make international stocks more valuable in USD terms, of course. International stocks, yes, but here at home, I don't think so. Who benefits the most? Exporters. Of course. Of course they do. It's a reverse inflation, but this is hyperinflation. Um wow. What? What is the strongest? No, come on. Okay, what to invest in when the dollar falls? One of the most straightforward weaker dollars to invest in other fiat currencies. Interesting. Who is hurt from a weaker dollar? Tariffs can also make life harder for Boeing, other defense aircraft. I'm just using Google real quick. Number one currency in the world, isn't that? Oh, weakest currency. Oh, okay, Lebanese. Strongest currency, United States, of course, because we control 50. I think we have 54% of it right now. U.S. dollar ETF. Interesting. Interesting. Yes, there are. Okay, so I learned something new, but again, I don't base anything on the dollar. Um, if the U.S. dollar crashes, prices, along with price of everything else, would adjust upwards. But that's no, that's what they're saying, a hyperinflation. If the dollar crashes, that's what Google says. Again, I've never studied it one way or another. So this is something that we're learning new today. All right. After BTC halving year, yep, DXY is usually dropping. This is the moment when BTC is stopping growing and people take profit and get altcoins. This is very true, EV Place. That is the scenario every time we have halving. Is this a halving year? Because I thought 2 years ago was a halving year. So that's why the price is pumping. Jeez. Yeah, it's pumping. There's nothing wrong with getting a little bit of BTC, ladies and gentlemen. It's a roller coaster ride. You're going to be hurt out here if you don't play. You're going to have a problem. Eric, if you're living in the US, every asset is based on dollar. Yes. But if the value, okay, I understand that. But the problem is if it goes down, everything that goes outside costs more for United States citizens, right? If you leave, if you stay here, you're going to have inflationary situations. And that also means the Fed has to do something. And again, I don't see how this is a good thing. I don't. These banks are ghosting people. Yeah, Joe Nay, that's what Jaway Jay's been saying. He says 4 banks, man. He can't get he sends the paperwork in, he sends the documentation in, then all of a sudden it's like people forget where stuff is or don't even know nothing about it. He has to keep doing it, keep calling, keep getting in touch. And he just had a appraiser come by after he had to call, had to get in touch again and again and again, then finally came by and then now can't hear from them to give him the appraised value after a day or two. This is crazy, man. This is crazy, Joe Nay. What's going on out there? So we're going to find out, EV Place, because this is actually going to play out. This is going to play out because the world is not going to invest in our bonds, right? Because they're not going to have faith in us because of all the turmoil, right? They're saying 50% EU. And then in 24 hours, the government says, oh, well, we're just kidding. We'll suspend it for whatever, 60 days or whatever they're doing. So it's like, hold on, how are we taking this seriously? And what is serious? Because the United States is not doing anything. So except tariffing everybody, acting like we don't want to be in the community anymore, don't want to be the leader. And so therefore everybody's like, well, then we're back to 1400. We're back to 1300s then. If we're just going to bypass you. And they're willing to bypass because they have another alternative, China. China is the manufacturing hub, so they have an alternative. They can bypass the United States on everything. And China just came out with their new software, which you knew that was going to happen when Google got shut them off. So what's going to happen to if you get shut off, that breeds innovation. So they're using Google, they're using everything, and then our U.S. government says, we're going to stop our American companies. They said, fine, chips, algorithms, all that. Okay, it might take us 10 years to get up to speed. So what? Well, it took them less than 10 years. So now they have their own software. They don't need anything from the United States as far as computerization and things like this. So when this happens, now they're independent. And if it actually takes hold where that software can actually work over a length of time, which we won't know yet, all of a sudden you can bypass the United States. The United States is just another trade partner. I'm going where I can get the best price for the best product. I don't really care who it is. That's how it always works. That's capitalism. You can't stop it. So acting like you don't want to do business, then you find who you do want to do business with. There's no way around it. All right. That's why you need the diversity. Exactly. Offshore countries on other continents. This is exactly right. Exactly right, EV Place. That's right. This is the answer. Trending currency. It can't get you nice profit if you can read chart and you bet on repeating cycle. Exactly. There's people right now that's probably loving this that does trading for the dollar. I'm pretty sure they are, because there's got to be a way to win, because with everything there's a win for whichever way things go. So I'm pretty sure in the trading, I've option trading and all that, and dollar trading and currency trading, I never learned. I never, to this day, I don't understand it. I really, really don't get it. But again, I never took a class. I just had people explain it to me, and it still doesn't make sense to me. It's kind of crazy. So, anyhow, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's a roller coaster ride, and there's no way you're going to be able to avoid it. So, prices seem eggs here in Georgia back to $5.98 for 18 of them. Like I said, in Cali, it was $12 or $15 for 18 pack. So that was a good sign. Getting back to, well, not normal, but it's twice, 2.5 times what it was before. It used to be 18 for like $1.99 down here in the South. Now it's $5.99, but it was up to like $10.99. So comes back a little bit, but who cares? Who's eating that many eggs, right? That's not the situation we need to concern ourselves with, really. You need to make sure you have food in the cupboards, food in the stores that you can put in the cupboards, That is the thing, and you have to be able to make additional streams of revenue, no matter how you slice it. So, no matter what you do, if you're watching this right now, please smash the like button because the YouTube gods, they need to know you're in the house. Facebook gods, Twitch gods, Instagram gods, podcasts, iHeart, iTunes. Hit that heart, likes, thumbs, whatever buttons you see, please show some love. All right, I'm not going to be on too long this evening. Um, not too long. You know the rich saying, Eric, this crisis is too beautiful to not make money on it. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's why roller coaster ride, you win, ladies and gentlemen. Financial freedom is possible now. You have to make the moves now because when this goes, whichever way it goes, ultimately, well, it's going to go bad. But what I'm saying is, when it goes bad, there's no way out. If you don't have the assets, you didn't make the moves, you're just going to be down there with everybody else. If you are making moves and you have something offshore, you have crypto, you have gold, you have all the assets that you can hold on to, your expenses are down, and you don't have things to worry about, then of course you have maneuvering room. Your bills are down, expenses are down, everything. Credit is at 775. That's what we need, 1 year, 7 months. We have 5 days heat watch. Uh-oh, we got a problem. AC went out. Man, I'm hoping the guys have this motherboard tomorrow here because otherwise it could be bad. But it's no big deal. We just go where it's cool, right? All right. This crisis is too beautiful. Exactly, EV Place. That's why I keep saying it. That's why I keep saying it. Financial freedom is possible right now. Like you talked about XRP, that actually could work because XRP got out of their legal problems. So XRP, quite frankly, should have always, well, I shouldn't say always. It had potential to actually be something like $100, $150. I mean, it's always had that potential, but it's never came to fruition, which is kind of strange because they were promoting two different things. Ripple and XRP are two different things. And unfortunately, they never meshed them together, it seems, to this day, because it's only $2.29. 2 years ago, it was $1.90. Well, I mean, no, 4 years ago was $1.80, $1.60, whatever. So nothing has changed over the last 4 years other than their legal standing. And could it really make him go off the rails? Because they did have one of the cheapest ways to transport money, right? So I mean, there's a lot of things happening, but I like that EV place exactly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to be here all night. We're going to call it 1 hour and 18, 1 hour and 20 minutes thus far. I want to thank everybody for being here this evening because I didn't hear anybody talking about the NBA game. All right, my last team is in. The three teams I picked: the Cavs, the Lakers, OKC. I said one of those three's got to be in the NBA Finals. I don't know if they're going to win it, but Thunder. Uh oh. 3-1 lead on the Wolves. Oh no. SGA fuels Thunder early as they eye 3-1 lead. Okay, so it's 65-57. They're playing in Minnesota. I expect Minnesota to give a push to come back. The Knicks lead. No, Indiana leads the Knicks 2-1. Again, I didn't like their celebration, acting like they won something, but we'll see what happens. All right. You need only 2,500 plus XRP to be in the 10% of the biggest wallets. Are you kidding me right now? How's that possible? Jesus. I could have 2,500 XRP sitting somewhere because XRP used to be like pennies. It's literally when it first came out. But again, all my wallets, I haven't even, I crypto's always been one of these things. Um, the wife has always been on me. She's like, I saw you on the computer. You were buying this stuff. What happened? I'm like, what happened? It's like worthless for too long. That's what happened. I can't even find that computer. I need that computer. Jesus. I can't even find my wallet stuff. I'm like, man, it's crazy. Um, but I guess I have to take it a little more serious because our government's taking crypto serious. So I should be taking it a little more serious. No jokes. Volume on Ledger X7 recently. Hey, I believe you, man. I'm shocked though. I'm shocked because 2,500 is you could have easily had 2,500 easily, easily if you would have done it like in the last 2 years ago, 5 years ago, when it was 30 cents, 40 cents, something like that. Easily could have been that way. Like I'll go back 5 years on the chart. Let me see what it was. It was under. It was like, yeah, here it is right here. 5 years ago, it was 17 cents, 29 cents, 17 cents, 19 cents. Yeah, so you could have easily 30. 52. Yeah, you could have easily had that many, easily. And they had mini crashes too, so it went down to like a few cents one day. They had these mini crashes. So once again, uh, pretty good. Oh, okay, nobody's coming to buy that. I got to tell you guys something that happened this past weekend. There's something at Bottle Rock in Napa, and there's another event next weekend. Bottle Rock at Napa. There's these little River Point Napa, or like these little modular homes, and they're not homes. They're just little studio unit modular. It has a kitchen and all that, but it's still a little modular. No more than 350 square feet for the studio, probably. The one bedroom is no more than probably 450 square feet, but still kitchen and everything, bathroom, and it's on wheels. You can move them, but it's a little modular community, right? Like tiny home kind of thing. But it wasn't built as a tiny home. But anyhow, so they have an event next weekend, and I didn't realize. Okay, first of all, I got to set this up. I got to give you guys a story. Okay, so we can make reservations as owners, right? No jokes. My average at XRP is $1.40, but I am long term holder. Yeah, you have to be a long term holder for XRP. I agree with that assessment. Have to be. Remember the six coins that was supposed to be part of the somewhat of a stable coin environment that the banks were going to use. That has been slow to come as well. But back to the story at hand. So we had a reservation at River Point, two reservations at River Point. And all of a sudden, the day before, River Point management starts calling, telling people that, oh, I'm sorry, the reservation is not going to be honored. It wasn't valid and all this. And I'm like, what are you talking about? There's confirmation numbers. And it's the day before. What are you talking about right now? They're like, no, there's some mistake. I'm like, no, there's no mistake. So it wasn't making any sense. And then all of a sudden, I went to go look because there's another event in Napa next week. Nobody will guess how much they were charging for a studio, modular studio that's, like I said, about 300, 350 square feet. Nobody can guess. This is so outrageous. So, what these guys were doing in house, they were doing rentals to the general public. $2,600 per night during Bottle Rock. You heard me. Next weekend is some other event that's, I don't even know, it's some new event. They're charging the same. So that means when they said they overbooked it. So now I understand why they were getting everybody's unit offline saying, I'm sorry, where there was a mistake, yada, yada, because our maintenance fees are nowhere near that. All right. These guys are trying to get $7,000 for 3 nights and getting it probably. So they were offing owners time doing backdoor bullshit. Because I was like, what? I had to talk to the GM. The GM, James, he actually worked everything out. I mean, whatever. But he didn't tell me none of this. I just started looking around. Why are they doing this? This has never happened before. Now I know why. They're selling units over 2 grand per night and getting it. And now when they did that, that means they got to get rid of some of the units that would have been owners. And that's what they started doing, making phone calls 2 days before. I was like, this is unusual. What do you, because they called me. I was at Mission Impossible at the end of it, luckily. And I was in there, and that's when the lady, I saw an 800 number call me once, an 800 number call me twice. And then I was like, okay, I don't know what this number is, but it must be an emergency. So they called a third time, and I answered in the movies. I was like, hello. And I was expecting it to be some scam artist, but no, they like, this is River Point. There's a problem with the reservation. We can't honor it. I'm like, what are you talking about right now? So people were going, shh, shh. And I was literally trying to talk softly. But then when she said there's no reservation, I'm like, wait, aren't people arriving today? What do you mean? It's like 4 in the day. Well, 1 o'clock there over there. I'm like, what is you talking about right now? And people were like, shh, shh. I said, I'll call you right back. Because I was like, this ain't going down. So afterwards, I was sitting there after the movie's over for the next hour. I'm on the phone, owner services. Hey, man, what the hell's going on? They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, what are you talking about? The dudes at the place is saying reservations are no good. They're like, no, your reservations are all good. I said, I know, but they're not accepting them. They told the guy who arrived early, you don't have a reservation. He's like, what do you mean? Here's my confirmation numbers and everything. They said, you don't have a reservation. They're like, oh, no. You have a reservation. If it was blocked or full or something like that, we would have known about it. I said, I know. So what's going on? And I didn't realize what was going on until later because we had a second person that had to arrive. And when they arrived at midnight, they told them, oh, you don't have a reservation, but we'll let you stay since you're here. We have a room, but you're going to have to leave tomorrow. I was like, what the hell is going on? But like I said, true to form, the guy, James, the general manager, he worked it all out. But the fact of the matter is now I understood what they were doing once I realized what they were charging on the open market, which still should not even be happening, but they're doing it and it's disgusting. So they're getting rid of the owner stuff, saying, "Oh, you don't have reservations, no," and then people are going, but there's no rooms available. You have to go 30 miles away. Everything's booked. It's crazy. So this is a third world country activity going on right now, all over the place. People are grabbing money if they can get it. Uh, so it's going to be very interesting this next weekend. Right now, I think it must be Blue Note. It's got to be the Blue Note. Let me go see. I didn't even look it up. Napa Blue Note, maybe. Maybe they switched it. Festival. When is it? 2025. It should be in June. Let's see. Did they move it? Nope. It's in it's in August now. It's not in June. So I don't know what is in Napa this next weekend, but they're charging 2,600 for a studio, 28 or 2,900 for a 1 bedroom, and get this: a studio unit modular and a 1 bedroom modular are only connected by like a ramp, so they can call it a 2 bedroom, and it has barbecue and a little, it's cool. But you guys won't believe this: $5,000 a night. Yes, $5,000 a night for a little modular. Crazy. That's right, EV Place. We talked about this last week. Right. Uh, uh, Mr. Dividend sent over that email where they said banks are okay. In fact, it's even worse. It's even worse. Banks now are permitted to hold crypto for their clients. Big chances that will be on XRP network. Oh no. They also are allowing the banks to give a second party custodial. They're allowing the banks to be custodians, and the banks can give their money, the people's money, to a secondary custodian. How crazy is that? That's double derivatives. So you guys understand, if I'm holding 1 billion, I won't use that, $1 million, I can get loans against it. I'm a custodian of that. I can get loans against it, meaning derivatives out of thin air. So now I can make another company under my company, like we're doing the old subsidiaries. So I'll just get another custodian as a considerate subsidiary. So then that way I sit there and go, okay, we got a million borrowed from them. We just got an inflow of another million. So why don't we have our subsidiary hold the 2 million? Fine. I mean, this is getting wild. This is absolutely crazy. Real crazy. Tamara Larry, another investor's in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Oh, yeah, this is weird. All right. Wow, that's weird. Very, very happy to see you this evening. It's very weird out here. A lot of weird stuff is going to happen over the next 1 year, 7 months. And the ride is going to be crazy. This roller coaster ride is going to be off the charts. Buckle up, put on the seatbelts, because you don't know what's going to happen, and you're going to have to figure how to do things on the fly. And that's what's going to happen. So you're going to have to make sure you are into all different assets and diversify, because you don't know what's going to happen. Nobody knows what's going to happen. If you're on the stock market, you can generally dictate, because you can borrow against your stocks. You can do all kind of crazy, right, to stay ahead of the fray. But ordinary citizens, we don't get to stay ahead of the fray like that. So my next move is this. Quite frankly, I'll just tell you guys right now what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to call a lawyer tomorrow in the DR. The DR has a stock market, which is kind of interesting. Somewhat. It's weird. But we need stocks. We need to have a company that has stocks that can print money out of thin air. That's what you need. So I'm going to find out tomorrow how hard is it to get on the stock exchange and sell your own company bonds. How about that? Be just like the big boys, right? So we're going to find out tomorrow, or the next day. I'll know the answer. On Wednesday, I should know the answer to this, because I have to do some big boy moves right now that I wasn't prepared to do. But hey, we all got to go out on a limb and start doing some other things instead of being in our comfort zones. So let's make it happen, right? And the insurance thing that I wanted to do, it doesn't appear that can be done. Although it's still not 100% off the table, but trying to do something crazy, it appears cannot be done, because the system, they've blocked it, so to speak. There's no situation that can be set up thus far that I could find how I want to do it. It's only how I like to do it. If I can't do it this way, then that means I don't want to really do it. So it seems like they've already plugged up the area where you can't cross over into two lanes. So since you can't cross over in two lanes, it looks like people who have insurance problems for their homes are going to continue to have insurance problems for their home, for their structures, which is your homeowner's insurance. And if you can't get homeowner's insurance, then you're at the mercy of Mother Nature. So this could go all bad. People's life works up in fire, up in smoke, all bad. Excuse me, but let's go see here. So we have to go back. We have to go back and see. But you know what? I got to show you guys this. This is so wild. Oh, here it is right here. Here it is right here. Hold on a second. I got to show you guys this because this is wild. This is wild. I'll show you. This is funny as hell. Look at this. I'm going to show you on the screen. Look at look at this. This is crazy. Watch this. Look at this on the right-hand side. River Point. May 31st, June 2nd. Look at this. Check in Saturday, check out June 2nd. Look at that. 2656, 2948 on Expedia. 3100 per night on Priceline. I know. You're sitting there going, no way. Okay, hold on. Let me show you guys something so you guys understand what I'm talking about. So you'll see I'm not even exaggerating. Oh, hold on. Check this out. Look at this. This, I'll show you what it looks like. Look, these are little modulars. Okay? Where pictures at? They're not showing pictures. Okay, let's see here. Little modulars. Okay. Show them where it is. Where's the modulars at? Oh, there you go. Here's the modulars, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, some of these are studios, some of these are one bedrooms, and like this one right here, they have this section. This would be considered a two-bedroom, but as you can see, you can walk up here, go left, walk up here, go right. So you can separate it. But if you say two-bedroom, then you get both of these units. Okay? One will be a one-bedroom, one will be a studio. And then if you get a two-bedroom, look at this. This is insane. Insane. So here's what happened. So I think I went here. Let me see if I can stay on screen. I was booking it. And I'm going to share the tab in a second. But can you guys believe for those one of those studio units is $26.96 per night next weekend and this weekend coming up? I cannot. I'm in total shock when I saw this. Now, nobody's hit me up for reservations this weekend, which is weird. Normally somebody would have hit me up and said, "Hey man, what's going on? Your unit's like I think I only had it like $500 a night." But nothing's happening. So I don't know what is going on. It makes no sense. So here, I'm going to show you guys so you can see for yourself that I am not exaggerating. It says 2655 per night. Per night. Do you not see this? A one bedroom, 2678 per night. And they don't even have a two bedroom anymore. The two bedroom is $5,000. Unbelievable. And that is on a Saturday and a Sunday night. I mean, this is insane. This is insane. This, and look at this, from 2947 per night. I mean, this is insane. Insane. Of course it's going to be available. This is nothing more than, I mean, it's crazy. So just so you guys can see, I was not exaggerating. This is outrageous. Oh, let me show you something else, though. Here's what's even funnier. So watch what happens the following week when the prices are normal, right? It's like, it's crazy. Let me see if I can get back to it. Let me go. Normally you can't even check in on Saturday. So what I'll do is I'll go June 6th through the 8th, 2 nights. Okay. Look at this. Back to 400 per night. Look, this is what it normally is on the weekend for studios and one bedrooms. Is that crazy or what? That's June 6th, the following weekend, right? Check this out. Let's go June 13th. I think that's when my man Brian Culberson's coming somewhere around there. Look at this 337, 307, 373. Look at this. No 2600, none of that crazy. Hell, we can even go to July 4th weekend. Watch this. This I don't even think it's going to be. It can't be that. Yeah. See, look, July 4th weekend. 313 first studio, 290 first studio, 284, 233. Come on. Why is it 2600 this weekend? 2900, whatever. Crazy. Crazy. Crazy, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Okay, I had to show you this because I cannot explain it. Crazy stuff. All right. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. Um, Everything I had to say tonight, I'm done. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here and your contributions as well. I'm going to look into that DXY to understand a little bit better, maybe add it to the repertoire on knowledge and information for investing. Thank you so much for that, EV Place. Very nice to see everybody. And again, I love you guys, and I appreciate your support over all these years. Hopefully, I will see you on Wednesday night at 8:50 p.m. Make sure you smash the like button if you haven't already and like what we've discussed. And if you have anything else that you want to talk about, please let me know. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here. And that's why when you have situations such as now, when there's a roller coaster ride on the stock market, you have opportunities everywhere. Your gold, your silver, your crypto, your real estate's going to be affected as well. But don't be rushing to get into the real estate game in America. Do not do it. Wait till see what the fallout is because people are already behind. Banks, in fact, this is 2008, 2007 happening all over again. People are in default. Banks are not filing for the foreclosure, and people are able to stay in the home because after they file foreclosure and people move out, now the place is going to be vacant because nobody's going to be buying the home. People are showing up at auctions. Not. People are not showing up at the foreclosure auctions because the point is you don't know how far these home prices are going to go down when nobody can buy homes. So be very careful out here in America right now. Assets are assets that pay you. A home is a liability. Assets that pay you is what you need to concentrate, or assets that can hold its value and you can easily turn into cash, like gold and silver. I can easily turn that into cash. So I'm holding it now. I can go see a dealer tomorrow and have cash. All right. So think about all that when you're out here. Thanks and stay cool. Thank you very much. You're damn right, man. Because tomorrow's going to be a hot one. I got the heat wave notification, and that's not good. So we need the AC on around here. Otherwise, it's going to be a very long day, but I won't be here. I'll just go where there is AC, right? That's how it's going to be. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much once again. Be safe out here because you're going to have a lot of turmoil if you don't have things set up or starting to set things up all the way around. Everybody who watches this on replay, I'll have some things down below in the description box. I'll have things like there are stocks, free stocks from Robinhood, Webull. I'll have, let's see, what else we're going to have down there. Oh, to improve your credit, you can hit up Tracy at Resolve Finance, TRACY. Again, T as in Tom, RACY at resolvefinance.com. Let her know you're from SSN Nation. Eric sent you. Whatever you want to say. Stop struggling now. Does not matter. She knows. And also, it takes 1 to 2 years to get your credit clear. And down below, there'll be credit monitoring service that can help you improve your credit as well with Smart Credit. And if you want to improve your credit score, then there'll be something down below, such as the Credit Strong, the Self, and you can get 4 lines of credit. If you start doing their installment lines, then you can get your credit card, secured credit card. So at least you have 4 lines of credit reporting positively. So again, you can get yourself set up. But if you need your debt cleared without filing bankruptcy, then see Tracy at resolvefinance.com, and she can help you in a 1 to 2 year plan and your credit, you need it to be 775 in 1 year, 8 months. That's the time frame I'm giving you. It could be 2 years, but I'm just saying, just try to get it. The sooner you can get up to that 775 and higher, the better for you, because the credit game is going to change. With people with the best credit will be able to get the best rates, the best deals, because again, you will like 0% interest for 18 to 24 months. That's going to come in very, very handy down the line. All right. So just want to get you on point all the way around. And again, I love you guys. Thank you again for your support. And just make sure you stay safe out here, because you never know what's going to happen. You never know what stress, duress, what people are going through. This is just uncharted territory for our generation. People in the 1920s and 1930s lived through some of what we're dealing with right now. And so here we are again, and that's not a good thing that we're going down this path. So, with all that said, make sure you keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm